Hello, this is a reading of Chapter 151, Texas Tax Code, Limited Sales, Excise and Use Tax. Uh, don't really do much with excise, but uh, this is just a plain reading of it because, quite frankly, I don't think I've ever read it from start to finish ever. It is, so we can, maybe this shows on screen, it's 197 pages when printed, so like 200 pages. The intent of this is to read like 30 minutes, maybe an hour, depending on my feeling of this, and just get through the document and then possibly move on to other documents. So let's get started. Texas Tax Code, Title 2, State Taxation, Subtitle E, Sales, Excise, and Use Taxes. Chapter 151, Limited Sales, Excise, and Use Tax. Subchapter A, General Provisions. Section 151.001, short title. This chapter may be cited as Limited Sales, Excise, and Use Tax Act. In practice, people just call this the Sales Tax Code. Acts of, what is that? 1981, the 67th legislature, page 15445. Oh my God, I don't know if I'm going to say that sort of stuff actually. Acts of the 91, effective January 1st, 1982. Section 151.002, applicability of definitions, etc. The definitions and other provisions of this chapter relating to the collection, administration, and enforcement of the taxes imposed by this chapter, including the requirements for sales tax permits, apply to the parties to a sale of a taxable item that is exempted from the taxes imposed by this chapter, but that is subject to the taxes imposed by a city under Chapter 321 of this code. Let me look at this real quick. Municipal sales and use tax. All right. Not touching this. How long is this? Or taking a slight detour real quick. 40 pages? Okay. Maybe that'll be on the docket. Okay, so what are they saying? That's a good question. My read on that, and again, this is, I do also need to be clear, this is academic, this isn't associated with a specific client. Do not take this as advice. I would read this as, hey, if we've got a transaction that is generally taxable, so we're selling a desk, right? And so you have an entity come up and say, hey, uh, you know what? We are a 501c3. We don't have to pay sales tax on that. That does not relieve and that's your only customer, right? You only deal with this 501c3. You only sell desks to them. My read on this is saying, hey, even though you are never going to have a taxable transaction, you are still in the space for taxable transactions, and you have the associated requirements. Okay. That's Acts 1981, against the 67th legislature, effective January 1st, 1982, amended in 89, the 71st, effective August 28th, 1989. That's kind of a strange date, but okay. Next section, section 151.0028, amusement services. Amusement services means the provision of amusement, entertainment, or recreation, but does not include the provision of educational or health services if prescribed by a licensed practitioner of the healing arts. This is a specific language that will come up a number of times throughout this. It's a very broad phrase. for the primary purpose of education or health maintenance or improvement. So that is very useful statutory language. Don't want to get into it though. Amusement services includes memberships in a I'm going to move my mouse slightly. Memberships in a private club or organization that provides entertainment, recreational, sports, dining, or social facilities to its members. Sounds like a country club. It sounds like, hey, country clubs are included here, guys. Amusement service does not include services provided through coin-operated machines that are operated by the consumer. There's a different tax code associated with those. That is why we have this particular bit. Added by Acts of 1984, the 68th legislature, effective October 2nd. Again, what are these weird? Maybe as we get closer to current, they're going to be more consistent with their dating. 1984, amended in 1987 by the 70th legislature. Where's your effective date? They don't have an effective date on that one. Okay. Amended again, 2019 by the 86th. By this, oh my God! Look at how much better. So, going back. Hey, 1981. We're just going to show you what page this is in. I believe the register, and it may be called something else, quite frankly. This one says, "Hey, it's this one. It's this bill that did it." Amazing. Very happy to see that they're upgrading their documentation. Okay. Section 151, and just business. Business means an activity of or caused by a person for the purpose of a direct or indirect gain, benefit, or advantage. I have never seen this come up, but it's here. 1981, effective 1982. Cool. Computer program. Computer program means a series of instructions that are coded for acceptance or use by a computer and that are designed to permit the computer system to process data and provide results and information. The series of instructions may be contained in or on magnetic tapes, punch cards, printed instructions, or other tangible or electronic media. So, God, magnetic tapes are still used today. Punch cards, maybe there is some like how we still have blacksmiths. There's someone just punching away at a card somewhere. So this is 1984, effective October of 1984. So they went fairly quick into putting that into service. Cable, section 151.003.3, cable television service. Cable television service means the distribution of video programming with or without use of wires to subscribers or paying customers. Hey, this is interesting because we have today's streaming services, and this doesn't seem like they updated this definition, but there's further, more current language on effective guidance associated with that. Beyond the scope of this, though. 1984, 68th Ledge, again, October 2nd, 1984. Credit reporting services, section 151.003.4, credit reporting services. Credit reporting service means assembling or furnishing credit history or credit information related to any person. Okay. 1987. 1987 is going to come up a lot. Oh, especially here. We are in one of the first substantive points. Section 151.003.5, data processing service. Data processing service includes 1. Word processing, data entry, data retrieval, data search, information compilation, payroll and business accounting data production, and other computerized data and information storage or manipulation. Ooh. 2, the performance of a totalizator service. I'm going to just search this. I've never heard this word before. Tote board. What? Okay, so apparently a device that adds up bits. Maybe this is what they intended? An automated system which runs parimutuel betting, calculating payoff odds. Okay, I guess so. The performance of doing betting calculations with the use of computational equipment required by Subtitle A1, Title 13, Occupation Code, Texas Racing Act. So yes, it's associated with a betting machine. Oh my god. Okay. 3, the use of a computer or computer time for data processing, whether the processing is performed by the provider of the computer or computer time or by the purchaser or other beneficiary of the service. So again, just taking a moment, this is written in 1984. Let's skip down a little bit. It has been amended a couple times here. So we've got or 1987, excuse me, 1987, 1997, 2003, 2017, 2021, and 2023. It might make sense to jump into these, but for the moment, we'll just stay at this document. Going back to where we need to be. Description. Yes, data processing services does not include, or taking one step back, B, data processing service does not include the transcription of medical dictation by a medical transcriptionist. Services exclusively to encrypt electronic payment information for acceptance onto a payment card network described in subdivision 3E to comply with standards set by the Payment Card Industry Security Standards Council, or settling of an electronic payment transaction by a downstream payment processor. What that means, you'll have to find that definition. Well, let's just see if Google will tell us real quick, because this is something that was oh my god. The downstream payment processes involve processing vendor payments and managing your financial data. Okay, I don't know. Apparently this is a term of, I would say it's complex enough to be a term of jargon, or but continuing on, settling of an electronic payment transaction by a downstream payment processor or point of sale payment processor that routes electronic payment information to an entity by paragraph C or E. Okay. Well, it's to an entity described by C or E. Let's see what C is. C, a federally insured financial institution as defined by this finance code that is organized under the laws of this state, another state, or the United States, or an affiliate of the institution. Interesting. Okay. So, federal government or what is it? Federally insured must be under the laws of the state, another state, the United States, or an affiliate of the institution. Interesting. So, like, foreign banks may not qualify for this. I've never seen that come up. It probably does come up in a very specific circles that I do not walk in. So going back, that was subdivision. That was C of this. Now let's look at E. A payment card network that allows a person to accept a specific brand of debit or credit card by routing information and data to settle an electronic payment transaction. So there was a fight a couple years ago. I think this is what was updated in the either 2023 legislature or 2021 legislature. Beyond the scope of this, but that's probably where that language is specifically coming from. So real quick, we went from A, C, and E. So now let's do B and D. B, a person who is engaged in the business of money transmission and required to obtain a license under 152.101 Finance Code. Just taking a very quick transmission. The purpose of this chapter directly for conducting. So this is like wiring money, something like this, or one of the newer services associated with it. Anyway, just trying to get a moment for that. D, a person who has entered into a sponsorship agreement with an entity described in paragraph C. Oh, and I don't have a good way to mute coughs. Well, we'll deal with that on the other side. Okay. A person who's entered into a sponsorship agreement with the entity described in C, one of those banking entities, for the purpose of settling that entity's electronic payment transactions through a payment card network or what we noted, the Visa, MasterCard, whoever. C, for the purposes of subsection B3, so let's just jump to here, data processing does not include settling a electronic payment transaction by this stuff. Downstream payment processor. Oh, thank you. You actually defined it. Means a person described in 7 Texas Administrative Code section 33.4C as that provision existed on January 1st, 2021. Okay, so this is absolutely dating it to be the effective 2021 one. Point of sale payment processor. Same thing, but defined by D instead of C. Settling of an electronic payment transaction means the authorization, clearing, or funding of a payment made by a credit card, debit card, gift card, store value card, electronic check, virtual currency, loyalty program currency, such as points or miles or a similar method. The term does not include charges by a marketplace provider, that will come up later, as that term is defined in 151.0242. D, data storage, as used in this section, does not include a classified advertisement, a banner advertisement, vertical advertisement, or a link when the item is displayed on an internet website owned by another person. This is nice. I did not know this was here specifically. That language comes much more into play for digital advertising, as you may suspect by the use of advertising numerous times. That's covered elsewhere in more meaty documents than that. Okay. And I probably shouldn't cough directly into the mic then. That's probably not a good idea. Okay. So that was added in 87, amended in 97, effective September 1st in 97. So we're back to like something reasonable and logical. First date of the new fiscal year. So we have 2 amended acts of 1997. Oh, it's just different pages on the same thing. Okay. Acts 2023, 78th legislature. This is it, effective October 1st. Okay. And then further amended. Oh, it's so good. So much better to have this. Acts, this legislature, RS, I don't know what RS means in this context. Page, maybe it's the register secretary. I'm not 100% sure. Specifically the bill that does it. Specifically the section that it's affecting. Excellent. The only other thing that I would say is some sort of context coding beyond this hyperlinking would be amazing. Okay. So that is the data processing service definition. Uh, Section 151.0036, debt collection services. A debt collection service means activity to collect or adjust a delinquent debt, to collect or adjust a claim, or to repossess property subject to a claim. Debt collection service does not include the collection of a judgment by an attorney, the collection of a judgment by an attorney. So the attorney's not making the judgment; they're making the collection, or by a partnership or professional corporation of attorneys if the attorney, partnership, or corporation represented the person in the suit from which the judgment arose, or B, court-ordered child support or medical child support, or 2, a service provided by a person acting as a trustee in connection with the foreclosure of a sale of real property under a lien created by a mortgage, deed of trust, or security instrument. Debt collection service includes the service performed for which a fee is collected under Section 3.506 Business and Commerce Code. The person collecting the check shall add the amount of the tax to the fee in accordance with Section 151.052. And I want to jump to that real quick. What is 052? Collection by retailers. Standard collection procedure. Okay, got it. And shall collect the fee from the drawer, or endorser of the check. Okay, so I'm going to take a moment here to just say, so if you've got a debt collection service, you say, hey, this person owes me $10,000. They get you back like $8,000. They've got or they get the whole 10,000. Well, okay. $10,000. They're able to recover 9 of it. They give you 8 of it. They take 1,000 of it for their commission associated with it, or their cut, whatever you want to say. That $1,000 is taxable. So they would then, depending exactly how the bill works out, they would say this 1,000 plus the 8,250 or whatever the tax rate is the total that we are taking from the whole $9,000 that we got back. So they're just reimbursing the other section. Fairly easy. Added by Acts 1987. So this is when most of the services that are taxable became taxable. Amended in 1991, the 72nd legislature, September of 91. 95 amended again by the 74th legislature, effective October 1st. Acts 2001, debt collection services has been something that keeps coming up apparently, but it stopped in September 2001. Information services, section 151.0038, information service. A, information service means 1, furnishing general or specialized news or other current information, including financial information, unless furnished to A, a newspaper or to a radio or television station licensed under or licensed by the Federal Communications Commissions, or B, a member of a homeowners association, of a residential subdivision or condominium development, and is furnished by the association or on behalf of its associates, or electronic data retrieval or research. Interesting. That's a pretty broad line where I've not seen this specific line contemplated before, but that feels like that should have come up, quite frankly. B, in this section, newspaper has the meaning by 151 319F. And just for you, real quick, for you, the viewer, you see how it says 151.319. It's blue as a hypertext, but it doesn't have the F. The reason for that, you can see it in the bottom, and I'll highlight it here. It has hyperlinking this document, the forward thinkers that they were, which I say jestingly, but I do very much like this feature. This is fairly old hypertext. You are able to find the specific sections through a hypertext link, but getting to the F, because it's not a direct line, you don't have section dot F listed as one thing. It doesn't work, so they can just get you to the heading itself. Okay, there you go. Information service does not include the furnishing of an academic script. So this specific was Acts of 2023, effective October 1st, 2023. There was a situation where at least one of the Texas colleges was like, this looks like this is taxable. We shouldn't be charging tax on this, right? And it apparently got far enough in the situation that it reached some members of the legislature who were like, okay, we'll put a bill in. But the comptroller's office, I believe, tax policy explicitly has a document on this that says, hey, yeah, traditionally this hasn't been done. It is not our intent to enforce on it, and the legislature will be taking an act associated with it. Okay, so that's information services. Insurance service. Very fun. Or taking one step back, that was 1987. Again, this is a service. 1987 services, that those two go together. Amended in 91, effective September 1st, 91. It seems like most of the services had a little brush up in 91. Okay, great. Acts 95 had another brush up. All right, cool. Section 151.0039, insurance service. A, except as provided by subsection B, insurance service means insurance loss or damage appraisal, insurance inspection, insurance investigation, insurance actuarial analysis or research, insurance claims adjustment, or claims processing of insurance loss prevention services. Or insurance loss prevention services, excuse me. B, insurance service does not include insurance coverage for which a premium is paid or commission paid to insurance agents for the sale of insurance or annuities. 2, a service performed on behalf of an insured person licensed under Chapter 4102 Insurance Code. 3, a service performed by a certified public accountancy firm if less than 1% of the firm's total revenue in the prior calendar year is from services in the state that would otherwise constitute insurance services under subsection A. 4, a service performed on behalf of a certified public accountancy firm by an owner of the firm or a member of the firm's affiliated group if less than 1% of the owners or members' total revenue in the prior calendar year is from service in this state that would otherwise constitute insurance service under subsection A, excuse me. So I was just thinking that is a fairly interesting carve out associated with this. Specifically certified public accountancy firms. There's not too many of those. And then I would, so I may be completely off here, but some of the probably small to medium size firms, CPA firms, likely have these ancillary services. I don't know if the Big Four does. Maybe they do. Maybe it's just such a modicum of their overall structure that this makes sense. Very curious about that actually. Okay, 5. A Oh, and this is probably fairly new too. 5. A medical or dental billing service performed before the original submission of a medical or dental insurance claim related to health or dental coverage, or B, a claim related to health or dental coverage made to a medical assistant, that is the 30-minute mark, program funded by the federal government, or a state government, or both, or 6, medical service provided. Oh man, I'm way off here. A medical service examination or test required or authorized under Chapter 408 Labor Code for the purposes of determining the appropriate levels of benefits under that chapter. In this section, affiliated group has the same meaning as assigned by Section 171.0001. Certified public accountancy firm has the meaning assigned by Section 901.002 occupation codes. Medical or dental billing service means assigning codes for the preparation of a medical or dental claim, verifying medical or dental insurance eligibility, preparing a medical or dental claim form for filing, and filing a medical or dental claim. So you can see that this was touched, or it was created, and then 15, 17, 21, 21, 23. Yes, there was some issues before COVID. I don't know all the specifics, but the comptroller's office was specifically tax policy had begun the process of amending the rule to include this medical or dental billing services, a third party medical or dental billing services, to be taxable. They had written an initial tax policy document associated with it. It went out to the public. All of the doctors said, no, we have a lot of money and we're not going to make this happen. So that's what happened, and that's why we've got at least the 21s and 23s associated with this to say, no, we don't need this. Okay, so that is a bit over 30 minutes. The intent of these is to be pretty bite-sized. Hope you enjoyed it. All right, thanks. Bye.